Okay, let's see what Linq is in code. What I have right here is a blank solution, which I have a blank project solution in the .NET Core. Okay, so what you need to do is you can create an empty solution in .NET Core, and I'm going to type in console readline so that I stop the console debugger. Okay, so that you see the results that I'm going to be writing right here. Okay, so we said what is Linq? We need a data source first, right? And then we would need a Linq query, and then at the end, Linq execution, Linq query execution. Okay, so for the data source, we said it could be a database, it could be an XML file, it could be a JSON file format, it could be an API. But in my case, we will be using an array, for example. Let's start with an array, string array. Let's call it names, and then new string, and then let's just type in some elements. Okay. All right. I'll just since this is a string, I'll just put a double brackets and Jason, Monica, and for example David. Okay, I'm closing the array. All right. So this is going to be our source. Now keep in mind that the source could be also of a type list. Okay, I'll just I just want to show you. All right, names one equals to new. All right, list of a type string. Let's initialize it. We'll put the same. Okay, right here. So we have one array and we have one collection, generic collection list. Right here is the data source, right? And then now we need to introduce the Linq query. So the Linq query, since it is a collection or an array, it's an IEnumerable string of that collection or of the string. So how does that work? You can either put like var query 1 equals, and this is now the syntax of the query, Linq query from, for example, n in names. Okay, so from every and each element in the array names, select all. Okay, that means, all right, so select all. Now it's asking for a reference probably. Yes, okay, we're missing the using system link that was just added to us. Okay, right here. And now this is our simplest Linq query that we have written already. Now if we go now the third step would be Linq query execution. How do we execute it? It's very simple, right? We can just use a simple for each cycle. Okay, and then we would just say console write line whatever we need to pass in right here. But before we do this, we have to do it like that. Var a for each element in query, right? One, and then print all the elements from the array. Okay, let's just compile this code and see what happens, and then we'll be discussing about the Linq query a little bit more in depth. Okay. All right, so we were able to print out the array, right? John, Jason, Monica, and David. Okay, so, but one would say, why not just directly looping through the record, and then why do we have to use Linq query? Well, Linq actually introduces many functionalities of which we're going to see throughout this course. At the end of this course, you'll become an expert in Linq and how to use it. And then you'll appreciate actually the benefits and the functionality that Linq has to offer for us. Let's say now we'd like to uh, we'd like to query only that element which is equal to Monica, for example. So what we have to do is just type in where n equals to Monica, right? And now if you notice, for those of you who understand SQL, the structured query programming language, Linq is very similar actually. Linq query actually is very similar to the SQL programming language. Right, let's compile this now at this point and see what happens. Okay, there we go. So basically, we were able to find the record Monica very easily at this stage. Okay. Now, what we can do right here is we can change the source name, right? And this time we're looping. We're writing this Linq query for the collection names one, and then we'll get the same result. So we have two data sources at this point, one Linq query with a simple change of a code. We were able actually to obtain the same result. So you see the usability and the syntax actually of the Linq query remains the same. Okay. So at this point we discussed about an array of a type string and a collection of a type string. Obviously the array could be of a type of any data type, right? Integer or an object, or it could be a decimal, it could be float, it could be a char, it could be anything. A list on the other side could be the same, and it could also actually be of a type object as well. But the functionality remains the same and everything works the same way. And we will be exploring this throughout the course. See you in the next section. Thank you.